What up, what up, what up? We's back. In today's video, I am going to be showing y'all how I've been cutting my own hair. I don't even know how long. It's been definitely over a decade, since about 2006, 2007. That right there is TPOB, the Pissed Off Barber brand. Just got that clipper maybe 6 to 8 months ago. Transitioned from Andy's Master cordless. I had the Masters for a long time. I did go to school for this. That is my Walls detailer. Love the detailer. I started my barber career back in 2006. Went to school in Worcester, Massachusetts at a barber school called Rob Roy Academy. If you know, you know. They have locations throughout New England area. I went to the Worcester location. But yeah, I've been cutting my own hair for 2006. 16 is 10 years, almost 20 years. 2026 will make 20 years. I haven't cut it the whole time, but that's when I started going to barber school. It's 2006. Started cutting my hair probably around 2007. I wasn't big into giving myself haircuts or getting haircuts in general. So back then I used to have my boy Jonathan. Shout out to Jonathan at Goodfellas Barbershop in Worcester, Mass. He used to cut my hair a lot. And then my boy Macho back home in Lowell. Yeah, for those periods of time, those were the only two I was really letting cut my hair. Before that, I used to go to a barbershop that I used to work at. But yeah, so yeah, I started off with a guideline, bald. I'm just doing a simple bald to a one on top. And I'm gonna fade it up. I'm gonna, fast forward through some of this video as well. But it took me about, in total, like 25 minutes to do the whole haircut and beard. I'm the type that I know my hairline isn't a straight hairline, and I'm not gonna be doing all the enhancements and stuff. I just keep it as clean for me. I've actually been doing more haircuts to myself lately. Where before I could go months, maybe a quick little lineup or a shape up, and I'd be good. But now as I'm getting older and I'm trying to get more into the management role, I'm trying to be more professional looking, trying to keep it clean. Even though I have a scruffy beard and everything else, I still just try to keep it clean, try to keep my appearance nice as much as possible. But yeah, I'm just here, working on the back right now. About to get to the infamous hot dog roll. You feel me? Gotta keep that clean. Gotta make sure that hair is swept up out of there. You don't want them stragglies. The Samoan sausage inside. My grandfather and part of my mom's side of the family is Samoan, so I got a large roll back there, so it might be considered a Samoan sausage. You feel me? And here we're cleaning it up. I normally don't wear the cape or anything. I'm in, when I'm there, I'm how I like to be in the birthday suit. So that's why I had to do a little bit of editing, because, you didn't see much, but, I'm new to YouTube and I don't want them flagging me for showing a little bit of skin. So I try to do my best to, if I felt like they were showing a little bit too much, I did my best to hide that from the video, because I didn't want to redo a whole new video, and it was hot in that bathroom. I normally have the door open with my ceiling fan from the room, and nice and chill, because the more you start to sweat, it's the harder to get the hair off and everything else. But at this point, I'm cleaning it up. I did a bald to to the low temple, and one on top, just cleaning that up. I'm gonna fade it up. go from 0 to maybe not even a 1. I use a 1/16 to get towards the top into the crown. But yeah, right now I'm just cleaning it up. Um, I can't wait till we move into a better place and I can have a full barber setup. The chair, the mirrors on the back, and so I won't have to use the handheld one. I'll be able to mount some mirrors on the back and have both hands free. But I've been doing it like this for a long time, so I'm already used to it. I know the way my hair cuts and how it lays, where my cowlicks are, where the hair just is tough to get off at times. So um, once you've been doing it for a while, you kind of know where it's at. But it's ridiculous because I heard the prices of some of these cuts now. I guess everything has gone up. Not I guess, I know everything has gone up, but man, I've been saving a lot of money not having to go to the barbershop. I cut my boys' hair still, so I save money on that too. And they've been watching me since kids, so their first haircuts, they weren't screaming, they weren't yelling and doing all this squirming and crying like normal kids do. They were really good, and to this day they're still really good. Some more, trying to keep it G-rated. You feel me? But yeah, this is where we're at. That was me realizing, I had to edit that because the birthday suit. So I'm just, try to keep it lighthearted, some humor. I'm still getting used to this. Still getting used to making these videos and commentating on these videos, narrating these videos, and it's just something that I'm enjoying doing right now. I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying uploading these and seeing my creative side. So like I said, it's not just gonna be a channel that just talks about one thing or shows one thing. I'm gonna show all assets of my life, the things that I do on a normal basis, and this is something not out of the ordinary. I give myself haircuts, give my kids haircuts, and we keep it moving. At this point, I'm fading it up, getting that guideline out of there. I really only used a 1/16 and that's a 1/16 right there, and the number 1. Those are the only 2 attachments. Sometimes I let my hair grow longer, or, I never keep like the same hairstyle consistently. I change it up a lot. Sometimes I'll let it grow out for a while, and then I might just do a short taper on the sides and on the back and try to let the curls grow. And then sometimes I don't feel like brushing my hair and I cut it short and have easier maintenance. But yeah, this is just the normal routine of I hope that I apologize. I had some text coming in. I hope it didn't disrupt the audio, but I'm not gonna do a whole bunch of like, oh, this didn't sound the greatest and let me redo it. I'd be sitting here forever trying to make it perfect, and that's just life isn't perfect. You gotta be able to get through the hiccups. So if it interrupted my audio, then it is what it is at that point. I just want to keep this channel real raw and uncut. I do want to get better at certain things that I do for the videos, but for right now, I'm doing the best to my ability. So for me, I am receding a little bit. Once I get done this part, I think I lower my head and I show y'all I am receding a little bit, so I don't push my hairline back. I just kind of, even where the light spots are, see right there, I kind of just touch it up a little bit. My hairline it goes higher on one side, but since I've been doing it for so long, I kind of just know how to navigate it. I got a permanent part there. You see that scar? My brother, shout outs to my brother, when I was in 4th grade, hit me in the head with a rock on my way to baseball practice, and I had to get 3 stitches. So he's always complimenting that he gave me the coolest part. You know what I mean? I got a permanent part in my hair. So I don't know if that ever affected my lineup. I don't think my lineup was ever straight across anyway. Everybody has a different You know, some have a perfect box, some have like the U shape like myself. So I do use a new blade every time. I use the Dorco blades. Been using those since barber school. There's probably better ones out there. I don't really follow the barber, you know, movement or society or what's going on with the barber world as much, you know, since I'm not in it. I am licensed, have my master barber's license. Used to cut at a shop, cut there for about, what was it, a year and a half, and then I moved to another place and cut at a shop there because, after you get your apprentice license, I think you got to work 18 months under a master barber, and then you can go apply in the state of Massachusetts. At least every other state is different. So currently I'm not an active barber. I haven't registered my license. I let it go years ago, but I still keep up with the skills as much as I can. But I don't know what the latest. I know the babyless clippers are like the new thing and everybody likes them, but for right now I just do what's affordable, what works for me, and I do like to try different things. That's why I tried this new brand, the Pissed Off Barber. For now it's cool. I don't think it cuts the greatest, but it does the job. I do want to try the babyless clippers, but they're a little pricey right now. So right now I just work with what I got, and I go from there. I'm not at a shop, so I don't need something that is gonna hold up for an 8-hour, 10-hour shift. I'll cut my hair maybe once or twice a month. So I don't need something that's super crazy, but eventually I do want to get a better set. But for right now, this is what I work with. Just not super crispy. It's just enough to clean it up. I know I got a lot of patches in my beard, but my beard has come a long way. I've tried so many different products and so many different techniques to try to the derma roller and all this, and it just is what it is. I got a patchy beard. As it tends to grow out, it fills in a little bit more, but every so often it just looks so straggly. I cut it down and then restart the process over. But for right now, I'm just letting it grow out. Starting to get into the winter season. Helps protect the cold from the face. Yes, I know I live in Florida, but sometimes it does get down into the 30s. And yes, I grew up in Massachusetts, so that's like nothing, but when all year round it's 80 degrees and it drops 50 degrees, you feel the difference. So I'm not saying it's like bone chilling, but So as the winter months start to, creep up upon us, I am just going to let the beard grow out and see what it does. So, and I know I can make it sharper. You see, like I could bring it down to where the bald spot is and make a crisp line, but I don't like the regrowth. I don't like all that growing back in and, just that stage. So I rather it look how it is, a little bit more patchy until it grows in and fills in a little bit more than having all that regrowth, for 2-3 days. Yeah, it could look super crispy, but after those 2-3 days and it starts growing in, now you got all the long hair on the bottom, and this is for me, I don't like that. So I just kind of leave it scruffy. Try to line it up as best I can. Try not to over analyze, because one little hair can mess up everything. So I just kind of just do the best I can, and how it works for me. So I usually do under the lip too, but I'm trying to let that grow in. I wish it could fill in fully, but for right now I'm just gonna let it darken up a little bit more. These are some of the products I use: the witch hazel after the haircut, the skin tight for the back of my neck. This is stuff I use, that petroleum, and then honey. That stuff is really good. That's a shop downtown, St. Cloud, that we get the oils from. I used to use a lot of oils, but they dry me out, so I've been using that petroleum. But this is the finished product after the shower with the stuff in. Hope y'all enjoyed this video as much as I like making it, and comment down below, if you guys do the same thing, what products you use for your hair, and just let me know. Keep living that fly life. Peace.